The late 1920s to the 1940s were considered the golden age of radio, where families would gather around the radio, like in the image on our title slide, to enjoy a proliferation of informative and entertaining programs. The diversity of programs, including weather forecasts, farm reports, news, music, comedies, drama, quiz shows, variety shows, and of course, President Roosevelt's fireside chats, shaped and was shaped by the American culture. It also paved the way for programs that Americans would later enjoy on television, as NBC, CBS, and ABC created television networks in the late 1940s and 50s. Radio variety shows featured music performances and comedy skits, much like the present-day Saturday Night Live. Quiz shows introduced America to the thrill of competition, setting the stage for TV favorites like Jeopardy and Survivor. Dramas consisted mostly of radio plays broadcast live from theaters, which would inspire TV dramas and soap operas. In fact, the soap opera Guiding Light began airing on NBC Radio in 1937 before moving to CBS television in 1952, running a combined 72 years before its final episode in 2009. Radio programs powerfully reflected shifts in American culture, including attitudes about race and tolerance of stereotypes. The sitcom Amos and Andy was based on 19th century minstrel shows and featured black characters stereotyped as shiftless and stupid. Created as a blackface stage act by two white comedians, the program was criticized as racist. However, NBC and the program's producers claimed that Amos and Andy was as popular among black audiences as it was among white listeners. Early radio research estimated the program aired in more than half of all radio homes during its 1930 to 1931 season, to make it the most popular radio series in history. The program did eventually transition to television in 1951 and was the first series to have an all-black cast. After pressure from the strengthening civil rights movement and a formal protest by the NAACP that argued, quote, every character is either a crook or a clown, end quote, CBS canceled the program in 1953. Beyond reflecting cultural beliefs, radio increasingly shaped them because of its perception as a voice of authority. The most notable example is the 1938 broadcast of Orson Welles' adaptation of the H.G. Wells novel, War of the Worlds. Wells aired the Martian invasion story like a contemporary radio news bulletin. For anyone who missed the opening disclaimer, it really sounded like Martians were attacking. Police switchboards were jammed with calls from frightened citizens, and young men across New York reported to their National Guard headquarters prepared for battle. The result was stricter warnings both before and during fictionalized programs, imitating the style of radio news. In the 1950s, a new form of mass media, television, came onto the scene. TV snatched radio's advertisers, program genres, major celebrities, and large evening audiences. The TV set even physically displaced the radio as the living room centerpiece around which families gathered. To survive, players in the radio industry transformed their business model so they could provide new forms of value for listeners. A major advantage radio had to its new arch nemesis came just in the nick of time. In 1947, Bell Laboratories invented the transistor, a small electrical device that, like the Audion vacuum tube, could receive and amplify radio signals. But transistors used less power, gave off less heat, were more durable and less expensive. And best of all, they were tiny. Transistors allowed radio to go where television could not, to the beach, to the office, into bedrooms and bathrooms, and into nearly all new cars. As radio's popular comedies, dramas, and variety shows migrated to television, the medium turned to music to fill that programming void. But the AM radio band, which was the primary way folks listened to the radio, wasn't ideal for transmitting music. The fledgling FM radio band, however, was perfect, providing greater clarity and static-free reception. FM radio had existed since the 1920s, developed by American inventor Edwin Armstrong. But years of legal battles over patents between Armstrong and RCA, who wanted to invest in television while protecting RCA's existing AM empire, ultimately led to Armstrong's death by suicide in 1954. It wasn't until the early 1960s, when the FCC opened more spectrum space for the superior sound of FM, that FM began to grow into the preferred radio band for music, and Armstrong's dream was realized. By 1979, FM radio listenership had surpassed that of AM. Once radio became portable and FM was introduced, music dominated the medium more than ever. This led to the creation of format radio, the concept of radio stations developing and playing distinct styles, or formats, geared to a specific demographic, like age, race, or gender. In format radio, a program director, rather than individual DJs, controlled the station's hour-by-hour programming choices. As early as 1949, a station owner in Omaha, Nebraska, noticed bar patrons and waitstaff repeatedly played certain favorite songs from the records available in a jukebox. The station borrowed the idea of rotation, the practice of playing the most popular or best-selling songs many times throughout the day. By the mid-1950s, the Top 40 radio format was born. While the term Top 40 derived from records frequently played on jukeboxes, it came to mean the 40 most popular hits from each week, as measured by record sales. While format radio limited music selection, the expansion of FM in the mid-1960s created room for stations to experiment, particularly with classical music, jazz, blues, and non-top 40 rock songs. Many non-commercial stations broadcast from college campuses, where student DJs began playing lesser-known alternative music and longer album cuts.